Hello YouTube, Assassin here today and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be going over the PvP hotfixes for 9-6. So they just released the hotfixes for today, and we applied a hotfix earlier that will be covering over the specs listed below, and we will be going over another hotfix in the future that will be addressing overperforming specs such as Beast Mastery, Discipline Priest, and Arms Warriors. So those three will be in the future. Player versus player. Healer specializations mana reduce have their mana regeneration reduced by 30%. So I feel like this was needed simply due to the fact that healers were never really running out of mana, in my opinion, that often. So this was incredibly needed for healers, at least. That's just my opinion on it. Lots of Arcane mages, holy crap. Overpowered causes Arcane power, increases damage by 40% instead of 60%. So I assume they nerf this because they don't want, or they want to like nerf their burst damage, I guess. So, I mean, I wasn't really expecting Arcane nerfs. I haven't really seen many of them. Mana shield, which in my opinion was 100% needed, is now 150% instead of 50%. Because I've played with it before, gone against a bunch of mages with it. It was really annoying with mages spamming it all the time. I mean, I know they don't do any damage with it, but it was just constantly annoying. Rune of Power, I'm assuming this was nerfed simply due to the fact, like I said, of the burst damage. So they nerfed it because of the burst damage, I'm assuming. Incanter's Flow increases damage up to 50% instead of 20%. I don't know why this was nerfed personally, because I don't see it that much of an issue. I don't know what these two traits are because I don't have 120 mage yet, but Arcane Pressure is now reduced by 50%, and Galvanizing Spark is now 25%. So I'm assuming they're just like huge burst things. I think Arcane Pressure is helps Arcane Barrage do so much damage or something, if I remember right. Somebody told me. So I don't really know much about the Arcane stuff, so kind of interesting to see Arcane. I did not really predict Arcane nerfs, so interesting to see that. Mage Frost is next. Glacial Spike is now reduced by 20% when attacking enemy players. Ray of Frost is now reduced by 15% when attacking enemy players. Concentrated Coolness is now Frozen Orb's damage is 10% from 30%. So, Glacial Spike and Ray of Frost, I pretty much called ages ago. I knew those two were going to get nerfed because they were doing a lot of damage for what Frost Mage has. So, I was wrong about the Arcane Mage. I did not predict that, but I predicted these two abilities getting nerfed. Concentrated Coolness, I don't really understand that. I guess the Frozen Orb was hitting hard with that talent. I don't know. But I pretty much predicted at least the Glacial Spike and Ray of Frost. I do know what Meriden Strikes does. That increases the Touch of Death damage, and again, I predicted this ages ago, so I'm not really surprised. It had to be nerfed. Touch of Death was doing insane amount of damage. So this was something I knew was going to happen, and I called, so for those that are curious, yes, I knew it was going to happen eventually. Sharpened Blades, Rogues and Assassination and Subtlety. I believe that was the one-shots for Shirk and Toss, which was 100% needed to be toned down by a lot, and I'm glad they did it. So once again, Blizzard, good job. Something I called ages ago that was going to happen. Rogue nerfs. Subtlety, Phantom Assassination increases crit from 10% down to 35%. Good change. Shadow Strike and Eviscerate got damage reductions. So Subtlety, Eviscerate was doing so much damage, so it needed to be toned down, so I'm glad Blizzard did that. Shadow Strike, I think, needed to be a little bit toned down, so I agree with that. Rogue Outlaw. Deadshot needed to be 100% nerfed. It's 45%, but it needed to be nerfed by... It really did. I got hit by like 80k crit, 70k crit, dead shots. It was just nuts. It needed to be toned down, so I'm glad it turned down. Turn of the Tables is now 10% instead of 15. Dispatch by reduced by 15%. I'm not really sure about those two, so I'm just going to leave those out for now. Killing Spree is reduced by 20%. This needed to be toned down. Killing Spree was pretty much nuts, and yes, you can counter it, but it just hit like a truck for the amount of damage it does, so I'm glad it was toned down. Between the Eyes is now reduced by 20%, so that needed to be toned down too, so I'm glad that was toned down. Overall, I think Blizzard did the changes pretty well. The final one, I am a balanced Druid, pretty much main. This is 100% what I agree with. Balanced Druid was nuts, and there's no denying it, but not Balanced Druid was crazy, and it was because of the trait. So I'm glad Blizzard is nerfing the right things. So hopefully, well, I don't know. Well, let me know what you guys think of these changes, because I wasn't expecting Arcane. I think now that I look at it, it was kind of needed. At least the burst wise. I probably wouldn't have nerfed maybe Incarnator's Flow or Rune of Power, but I kind of agree with maybe the other ones. I probably wouldn't have nerfed Consecrated Coolness, but I would have kept the Glacial Spike and Ray of Frost nerf. The Touch of Death one I agree with. Sharpened Blades I agree with. The Rogue ones I agree with, all of them, except for maybe, I don't know, the Turn of the Day wasn't dispatched. I don't know how those are doing. And Druid Balance I agree with. So, I'll do another hotfix video for you guys on the Beast Mastery and Discipline Priest and Arms when they come out. Hopefully they won't over nerf my Beast Mastery Hunter. I know people hate Beast Mastery Hunters, but realistically, how would you guys feel if the one class you liked playing and you wanted, and people were wanting it nerfed out of existence so bad that they don't deserve to play? Like, as much as I hate rogues, and I hate rogues player, I'm probably bluffing when I say this, but I would never wish that upon them. Like, if somebody has fun playing with rogue, all power to them. I know some people probably won't even believe me on that, but you just have to look at it from a realistic point of view. How would you feel if your spec sucks so bad and you couldn't do anything? So, I guess time will tell for the Beast Mastery Hunters and Discipline Priests and Arms Warriors. Let me know what you guys think of this. Hopefully I covered it up well enough to tell you guys what my thoughts on it are. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to let me know. And I will see you guys later.